This is what helped me lose 45 pounds of fat. Not tracking every calorie, not spending hours prepping on Sundays, but keeping my kitchen stocked with low-calorie, high-protein foods I could eat with zero prep. The problem is most women try to eat healthy, but their groceries leave them overwhelmed, hungry, or driving through Chick-fil-A by Wednesday. So today, I'm walking you through an easy grocery haul with grab-and-go snacks, no-cook meals, and simple swaps that help me stay lean, full, and consistent even when I'm too tired to cook. And at the end, I'll show you how to turn these into zero prep meals I eat on repeat. So if you're trying to eat healthier and lose weight and you just don't feel like you have time to cook healthy meals, I made this video for you. Do me a favor, hit the like button. That tells me to make more videos like this and helps other women find our community. And if you're new to my channel, I'm so happy you're here. Make sure you subscribe down below so you don't miss any of my weekly videos helping you on your health and fitness journey. And girls, I do giveaways every week for my subscribers. All you have to do is hit that big red button and drop a comment down below. When I say this is probably one of the most unhinged grocery hauls I've ever done, I bought so much stuff. I'm gonna try to go through it as quickly as possible, but I'm just gonna give you a big trigger warning. If you are someone who hates the idea of packaged food, because I get this in comments all the time, this video is not for you. Because the point of this video is that it's zero prep. Things are already cooked, they're already made. We're doing as much whole food as possible. There's a lot of packaged stuff. But if you're like me and you get really busy and you wanna have healthy, high protein, high fiber snacks, foods on hand to make healthy meals as best you can, then this is for you. Let's start with the refrigerated stuff, mostly so I can get it back in the fridge, but these are really some of the biggest staples, foundational things I love to have on hand for these quick meals. So first up, rotisserie chicken. This is already taken off the bone, which I just appreciate because I just hate taking it off the bone. But you can get the full rotisserie chicken, and so much of the time they're at the store for $3.99. So it's a great deal, again, to make sure you have some really good high protein. That is my focus with every meal. If you've watched any of my videos, but especially last week's video on the 3 biggest nutrition mistakes I and most all women have made, you'll know that one of the best things you can do is focus on protein and fiber. So you're gonna see that a lot here. We always have eggs. I know they technically take some prep. They usually take about 2 minutes to cook, but also you can just buy hard-boiled eggs. If you don't wanna put in the work to hard-boil them yourself, then just grab the ones that are already prepackaged hard-boiled eggs so you have that high-protein snack good to go. I like to boil a few or put them in the air fryer and cook them up so we have them on hand. But again, either way to make those really simple and easy because you can throw them in salads, you can throw them on bowls, you can put them on toast, and always have a high-protein snack. Deli meat. I know some people have feelings about deli meat. Of course, you wanna try to limit the excess of sodium, but if you're not adding a ton of sodium to the rest of your meals throughout the day, it's okay to have some things that have a bit of it in it. So I love to have this to make sandwiches really quickly. Again, throw them in salad, throw them in a pasta. It's a really great high protein source, and you can usually find it for a really good price at all stores. 0% fat Greek yogurt. Yes, this is a staple for my meals because I add this to almost all of my meals to add a creaminess, to add more protein. You get about 16 grams of protein per 3/4 of a cup. So not even a full cup, and you're getting a huge dump of protein in your day, which is absolutely amazing. Make sure it's a 0% just so you're not adding too much excess fat. That leaves us room for things like avocados and toppings and dressings, and then you still get the benefit of all that protein. For zero prep, literally you don't have to scoop, you have to do no work at all. The little individual cottage cheese cups. Everyone has different feelings about cottage cheese, but the reason why I love it so much is, again, it is a crazy high source of protein. You can make it savory, you can make it sweet. I'm not really the big sweet cottage cheese girl, putting fruit and stuff on it, but one of these little cups, there's different brands of course, but this has 18 grams of protein. Super high protein as a snack, or also to add to a meal really quickly. Mix it together and I'll show you a meal that I add this to. You're gonna absolutely love, and it just adds a great source of protein. For my vegan girls or anyone who's just trying to do a meatless day but you still want a high protein source, this is one of the best brands that I found that's the cleanest ingredients, because a lot of the artificial fake meats and stuff just have a lot of junk in them. This one's really clean, very simple. It's a pea protein. Abbott's is the brand, so a ground beef. This is a great alternative, and in a half a cup you get 18 grams of protein. So there's 3 servings in here. That's great. You get a couple meals out of this one. Another great thing to have in the fridge are are little drinks, like yogurt drinks like this, whether it's kefir, this is the Siggy's, just like a simple smoothie, 150 calories, 9 grams of protein, which is really good for one of these drinks. I prefer these over the like pre-made protein shake. Again, just simplicity of ingredients. Even when I'm buying pre-packaged, ready to grab and go foods, I want them to be as clean and simple as possible and as close to like a whole food source as I can. So something like this is a great option. Little pre-packaged salads, the biggest thing you have to look out for is the dressing ingredients, that you're not adding a ton of excess calories or sugars or things. This one is a Southwest chopped salad kit. I looked at the dressing. You're obviously getting most of your calories from the dressing itself, but it's a really simple one and you can control how much you actually use. You don't and probably should not use the entire dressing pack. I like to supplement with some Greek yogurt. I'll do some lemon, so maybe I use half of the dressing and then use those other things to help really like bring it to life and have it be nice and saucy and covered without the added calories from the packaged dressing. I always love to have lettuces that are already cleaned, whether it's spinach, romaine. They're just washed, they're clean, they're ready to use. I can rip it up with my hands or throw it in a salad. I don't have to actually do all the prep, which I don't like doing all the time. For a full refrigerated meal, like you're literally like, I don't want to do anything, Katie. I grabbed this like artichoke pasta. So these can be fine. You can find pastas or salads and things that are already made, completely put together. My one call out would be, I would always probably eat about half of it. This says it's 3 servings per container. So most of us would think, oh, I'm just gonna eat this. This is like a meal, right? No, this is technically 3 servings per container, which is not a lot of food. And that's because of probably the high fats and dressings in there. So what I would do is take my 1/3 of this, maybe a half, go over a little bit, and add a big old honkin' cup of that rotisserie chicken on top, something like that to make it a high protein meal. Again, I don't really have to do any work. I dump one thing into the other, good to go, but it just makes it even simpler. We love a cheddar cheese stick in our house. Again, just a high protein, good, more for a snack. Obviously, this is not a meal, and cheese sticks weird to add to a meal. I don't really know what you would do with that, except like a cheese roll up, which is another favorite in our home, just turkey rolled around the piece of cheese, but it's a good protein. And another really good high protein cheese, if you're wanting to add cheeses besides obviously cottage cheese, cheddar cheese, Parmesan is a great protein source. So I love to put that on my eggs. And then we always have some type of wrap, tortillas, things like that in the fridge. So we love like the Siete grain-free one. I've actually never tried these, but I've seen them all over. Egg Life, it's literally just made of egg whites. I don't know, we're gonna give it a go. Next up, we have Pantry and like packaged proteins. These are kind of your backups. I use a few of these as staples almost every single day, but for the most part, they're things you wanna grab. If your fridge is empty, you need something quick and you wanna make sure that it is something that is helping you work toward your goals, then these are for you. I was just talking to a girlfriend who is on a big weight loss journey right now, and I'm helping coach her through it, and she was traveling. And one of the things I told her she needed to grab before she went was these little tuna packs, because as much as it might be weird to eat tuna on the go, these really come in handy. You're probably not gonna carry around a tuna can. I have these in my pantry all the time. I buy the big things from Costco. They're way better price than these ones I just got at Whole Foods. But I love tuna, and I'm gonna show you a meal that I make with it. So delicious. Tuna's incredible. It's such a good protein source. It's so lean, but it's not really convenient on the go unless you have these little packs. So these are only 100 calories, and you've probably seen they have ones that have other things in them. I saw one that was like a white bean with pasta, all sorts of stuff. But I like just kind of the plain old tuna. And again, you can do this with crackers. You can do them with Greek yogurt in there to mix it up. It has 21 grams of protein. So these will be your best friend if weight loss is one of your goals. Cost-wise, meal prepping a bunch of rice ahead of time is obviously going to save you money, but these are really great, again, to have the rice that's already cooked, ready to go. You just put them in the microwave. So yes, it might take about 2 or 3 minutes to put meals together, but it's gonna save you so much time. You're not gonna have to do any prep really. You dump this in a bowl, throw your rotisserie chicken on top, you have yourself a meal. On the more snacky side, I always have some type or many types of turkey, beef sticks, whatever in our cabinet. So these are just a few different ones. Actually, never tried this one. It's a venison stick. I feel like I'm kind of like nervous about trying it, but I'm sure it's great. But these have about 10 grams of protein, the little mini ones. I love these epic ones. This one's like a bison. It has cranberry, 7 grams of protein. So these are a great real protein source. And I recently found an actual protein bar. It takes me forever. I have not recommended a bar in years and years. This is not sponsored, it's just the only bar that I feel okay about. That's this Jacob bar. So the ingredients are super clean, super minimal. They're real ingredients, 20 grams of grass-fed protein, no seed oils, nothing artificial. They're sweetened with honey. They do have a bit more sugar than I ideally would like. 10 grams of sugar, it could be way worse, but the protein is so good in these. The macros in general are really good, and especially if you're moving your body, working out, these are great to have on hand. Also, the little nut butter packets, again, peanuts, peanut butter, any of those are really great protein. They are higher in fat, so it's not necessarily a super low calorie snack, but that protein and the healthy fats are gonna help curb cravings. And if you pair it with something like rice cakes, which we also always have in the pantry, you're gonna get a good amount of fiber in there too, so it's a super filling snack. And rice cakes are so low in calories, so this little combo is gonna keep you full without adding a bunch of calories in your day. Also, pile some tuna on one of these and it's... Let's go through a couple of frozen items that I always have. So kind of like the pantry rice, we usually have some of these rice packs in the freezer. We eat a lot of rice in this house, so it's just good to have all forms of it. I always like to have little egg bites. Again, super high in protein. Look at the ingredients. Some have more junk than others. These are a pretty good, simple, clean one, but it's just nice to have. This is just broccoli. It's all I really need because I have a ton of other frozen veggies in the freezer, but I like to keep frozen veggies in the freezer at all times for these meals that are easy, no prep. You dump it in a bowl, microwave it for 2 minutes, and you're good to go. I don't have to think about cleaning, chopping, cutting, steaming, baking, whatever. It's just simple. This one's gonna shock you a little bit. Frozen pizza. Okay, here's why I'm giving you the green light on getting a frozen pizza, but you gotta be mindful of what you're getting. This is simple, right? It's just cheese. This one is very high protein. Half of this pizza is 420 calories and 17 grams of protein. You don't need to eat more than half of this pizza, I'll tell you that right now. But here's what I want you to do. If you get a pizza like this, I want you to add some of your spinach on there, add some of your broccoli, add some veggies, throw that rotisserie chicken on top or pre-cooked sausages, whatever it is to bring that protein up even more. You are getting a loaded, high protein, low calorie meal that is gonna be super satisfying. So I'm gonna show you some saucy snack fixes. These are like toppings and some indulgent treats that you can have in moderation to really help elevate your meals and keep you consistent. All my pickle girls, I just love throwing pickles on sandwiches and in wraps and just eating them as a snack because they're such a low calorie snack. So if you just have that kind of salty, crunchy craving, these are a good one. A tablespoon of hummus on top of most anything in any wrap for me is like a win-win. It's so yummy. You get a good amount of fiber in there, some protein, again, just adding the fiber and protein wherever you can into your day. Some of my go-to sauces, dressings, things like that I just put on all my bowls is Yellow Bird. It's the Serrano hot sauce. We go through too many bottles in a week here. A little bit of ketchup. I like Primal Kitchen because they use really clean ingredients. They're not adding sugars and stuff, so these are great little toppings to have. Their ranch, buffalo. I'm a buffalo girl sauce. And they do have a buffalo sauce, which I like, but I like the macros on this one a little bit more. A little less calories. This is a match made in heaven. Pepperoncinis, you can tell I like the pickled spicy things. So for me, throwing this in a salad, like a Greek salad with some cucumbers and fetas. Harissa is a great spice. We do a lot of lamb meatballs here too. Again, that's just like, that's a meal prep food. So we're not talking prep, but this is another one just to add on. If you're doing rice and rotisserie chicken or any type of pre-made meats, you can throw this on there for a little bit more flavor. Bacon bits, I've never tried this brand. They're plant-based bacon bits, but I love sprinkling a little bacon bit for crunch. Again, salads, bowls, sandwiches, wraps. A good little flavor. This is the K-Cloud. I did TikTok about this. I hate that I love it so much. Not to like bag on Kardashians, but like really, you had to like nail this popcorn too. So it's white cheddar, 7 grams of protein per serving. They have different flavors too. Little chocolate bark. I honestly just like throwing a few chocolate chips in a bowl and munching on those too, but this is a really good, just simple thing to have if you are a chocolate cravings girl. And last but not least, for snacks and for on salads and things, these little Parmesan crisps, because again, they're a really good source of protein. So anything can be considered kind of low calorie depending on how you're using it, how much you're having of something. Our cheeses, our healthy fats are gonna be the higher calorie items, but we need those healthy fats in our diet. So it's again, just being mindful of when you're having them. And with something like this, I could eat the whole bag, so I have to portion it out. Now let me show you how I use these groceries to make high protein, low calorie meals that I eat on repeat. First up is a buffalo chicken protein bowl. This one, so yummy, you guys. All right, so I'm gonna start just with a little bit of lettuce. I'm also gonna use some of that chopped salad. I'm not using this dressing though. We're gonna add the rotisserie chicken, some cottage cheese, ranch, and buffalo, and those little bacon bits. How freaking delicious does this look? I should have set a timer. I looked at the clock. It literally took me less than 2 minutes to throw this together, which is wild because it looks like a luxury, like gourmet, yummy meal, and it's going to be. You could always warm up the chicken if you want it hot. I like it just cold like this, but you can do it however you like. If you want to add an extra minute on, still under 3 minutes to put this whole bowl together. Another hack for really saving calories is especially when it comes to creamier dressings and sauces like the ranch, really go minimal. I do just a little drizzle to get that flavor. So like when I bite it, I know I get a little hint of that ranch flavor. Then with things that aren't creamy, like the buffalo, I go a little more like wild. This one, some of you might come after me for. I've shared it in stories. I may have even shared it in another YouTube video, I feel like. I eat this almost every single day lately. It is like, called like the Lazy Girls Poke Bowl. It just has all those same flavors as a Poke Bowl. It is so delicious. It is so easy to make, packed with protein and flavor. I'm just gonna have to show you. The only thing that could make this better is if I had like actual like crunchy little onion or like the crunchy garlic sauce stuff, which I didn't have. But I know this sounds weird, you guys. I know. It's like you're like tuna and pineapple. What is going on, Katie? I'm telling you, if you have not tried this, just trust me and try it. I swear you are going to love my Lazy Girl Poke Bowl. All right, now I have some food to eat. I hope you girls enjoyed this grocery haul and found it helpful. Again, if you can focus on finding those high protein, as close to whole foods as possible when they come packaged, that is gonna be a game changer for you. Because at the end of the day, yes, we wanna eat healthy, whole foods. Those are gonna help us feel good and nourish our bodies, but sometimes we just don't have time. And pre-packaged, pre-made is okay and totally great if weight loss is your goal, as long as you're mindful of portions, calories, and the total of what you're putting in your body. If this video was helpful for you, do me a favor, hit that like button and make sure you subscribe. I've had so many girls be like, I've been watching you for years and didn't realize I wasn't subscribed. So hit that subscribe button down below. And it would mean so much to me if you turn on notifications for my channel so you don't miss any of my videos. I love you all so much. I will see you girls next week.